Relationships between fractions, decimals, and percents. It is important when doing mathematical problems to understand that fractions, decimals, and percents are all related. In working the following problems, study the relationship of each one to the others. We'll start by changing a fraction to a decimal. In example 1, we have 5/8. We can use our calculator and do 5 divided by 8 and get 0.625. We have changed a fraction into a decimal by dividing. Remember that the numerator always goes into the calculator first. Let's look at our second example. We want to change 4.5 into a percent. To do that, we can multiply 4.5 times 100 and get 450%. Or we can take our decimal point and move this 2 places to the right, which also gives us 450%. In our third example, we have 4.750. To change that to a fraction, we have to realize that the 750 can be made into a 75 because the 0 at the end of a decimal is not necessary. Since there are 2 places after the decimal point, that would be 100. 75 over 100 simplifies to 3/4. If you have a calculator with a fraction button, you can put this in and it will simplify it for you automatically.
I like to show the relationship between percents, fractions, and decimals. Now this is a whole pie. And if I take this pie and I cut it, this is 100%. Now what I've done here, this one whole now is 1/2, or 0.5 and 0.5. Add them together, they will equal 1. Or it's 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1. Or this is 50% of the pie. If you ate this portion, it would be 50%. Now if I divide it again, this is 25%, or 1/4 of a pie. This is now 1/4 of this whole. Or it's 0.25 of the whole. So 2 1/4 equal 1/2, and 4/4 equal a whole. And so you can see the relationship, and I can divide this now into eighths if I want to. As a fraction, this will equal 1/8. As a percentage, it will equal 12.5%, and as a decimal, it will equal 0.125. Now I have on the board here 4/4, and you know what this equals. This equals $1. And this is what? 1/4 of a dollar. It's equal also to 25 cents. And it's also what percentage? It's 25% of a dollar. And so they're all equivalent. Now, if you put 2 of these together, 2/4 will equal 1/2 of a dollar, or 50 cents, or be 50% of a dollar. And so we can go here, this would be 3/4 of a dollar, and this would equal 1. And $1 equals 1, or 100% of a dollar. And so you can see the relationship between a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. They're all related, and they're used in different ways. If you measure with a ruler, often you use a fraction. If you're working with percentage, you find a lot of sales items deal with percentage. If you're dealing with calculators and machines, they require decimals. And so each one, but they're all related, and this is what we want to point out, and you should be able to convert either one of them into each other. And if you know how to do this, you'll be able to operate all kinds of equipment and rulers and measurements and percentage, and it'd be a very useful tool to understand the relationship between all of them.
Please pause the video now and complete the problems in your workbook. When finished, press play, and we'll continue with the next lesson.